Hello and welcome to Real Sales Talk. The hotspot objection handling with Pauly Campanaro.
I appreciate it. I think we're going to hold off for now. I think it's getting cold. It's going to get cold here soon. We're going to wait till after the holidays, probably go back on in the springtime. So.
Great, okay, so what I hear you saying is that you want to hold off a little bit. You're feeling that it might be safer for you to put it back on the market after the hustle and bustle of the holidays, right?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Well, it sounds like to me that it's most important for you that you make the most money on the sale of your home, correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's important. Yeah.
Great, okay. Now, is there any other specific reason as to why you're waiting until after the holidays?
Yeah, like I said, it's just a bad timing for us. It's going to be cold out here, and we already have the house in Canada, actually.
Oh, good for you.
So, yeah, obviously it gets cold up there around this time of year. So, yeah, it might be a little bit easier to do it when it warms up.
Okay, so you're feeling like it'll be easier once it warms up and everything. However, if there is an advantage to selling now versus waiting, you want to know about that advantage, right?
Yeah, I mean, what do you mean? What kind of advantage?
That's a great question there, and actually that's exactly why we should meet. What's the best time for us to get together for 15 minutes, and I can show you that information?
I don't think we've gotten a lot of calls, and a lot of people want to come over, but yeah, I don't know. Do you really think there's a difference now versus in a few months? I thought it's better in the springtime.
You know what? You're asking great questions, and I can it sounds like that you're not going to do anything unless it makes sense, right? Yeah. Great. Well, when we meet, we'll go over all the information that you need. Then you'll know what's best for you at that time. So, I mean, of course, sharing that important information is my job. So, is Monday or Tuesday at 4 best for you?
Tuesday's better.
Tuesday's better? Great. I'll see you Tuesday at 4.
Okay, fire somebody else.
Lorenzo?
Mm-hmm.
Lorenzo, yeah, thanks for calling, but you know what, I think we already found an agent that we're going to work with.
Oh, you already found an agent?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could
thanks,
definitely
though.
respect that. I mean, would you say for $300,000, I mean, this is a pretty big deal, right?
Well, yeah, of course, yeah.
So I mean, it wouldn't be unreasonable to get a second opinion before you get tied up in another contract, would it?
Well, right, yeah.
I mean, I understand you're not gonna do anything unless it makes sense, right?
Well, correct, but this agent, they seem like that they know what they're doing, they said they've sold homes in the area, so.
Yeah, I could definitely appreciate that, but like I said, before you get caught up in another contract, I mean, it would probably be best for you just to get I'm repeating myself now.
I think that's okay, just condition.
Mm-hmm. No bots, right? But, no bots, but the objection is he knows somebody,
Yeah.
right?
I feel like I know somebody now
Right.
that.
And you used what? What did you use on it?
I understand you're not gonna do anything unless it makes sense, and then
There's
you
a
don't
lot of
wanna get
money.
tied up in another contract or all that.
Okay,
And then I just did it again.
okay. So, huh? Alright, so, go ahead, give it to me.
Yeah, I feel like that, thanks for calling, but somebody else, we think we found our guy.
Right, you
Yeah,
feel
we found
like,
the guy.
yeah, different than who you had before.
Oh, yes.
Right, no, I can understand that, Daniel. And at this point, how important is it to make sure you do, this time, get the property sold for the highest price possible?
Well, that's our aim.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, and obviously you don't expect to be in the same boat you were before, right?
Oh, yeah, no.
All right, well, that would be exactly why we need to meet. I can come by Tuesday at 4 or Wednesday at 6, and listen, you're not gonna do anything unless it makes sense for you, right?
All right, yeah.
Okay.
But like I said, I think we found the guy already.
Yeah, and you know what, you could definitely, this definitely could be the person. How did you find this person again?
Well, kind of like you, he gave me a call, sent me some
Mhm.
information,
Right.
and he looks like he knows what he's doing.
Right, and you know what, you would wanna know for sure that he does know what he's doing, right?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so listen, has there ever been a time, Daniel, that you were shopping and then maybe you didn't shop around as well as you could have, and then you realized later after you bought whatever it is you bought that you probably should have shopped around a little bit more?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, okay, well
Of course,
listen,
yeah.
Daniel, this time's just like that time, except this time you have $250,000 on the line. I mean, that's $250,000. That's a lot of money, isn't it?
Right, yeah, sure.
Yeah, so here's what we'll do. I'll pop in, I'll take a look at the property, I'll give you some new information, a fresh approach on what I might be able to do, and you'll decide what's best for you, right?
Well, I guess that's fair.
Yeah, okay, so Tuesday at 4, or do you wanna do Wednesday at 6 better?
Tuesday at 4 is fine.
Okay,
Boom, drop the mic.
I'm not that.
Just
good.
fucking
I
kill
can't
it.
do that.
You
Oh,
can do it, man.
fuck, dude, I got 2 lines to go with.
but look.
Just repeat after me.
Okay, so we're talking about prioritizing what's important to them, right? He gave me inches, right? The inch was, I think, listen, when I say they give you inches, I mean, listen closely to every tiny little word. That's an inch.
It's hard for me to do that and fucking,
Right. Well, you wanna know why it's hard for you to do that?
I haven't internalized the scripts.
Okay, well, thank you for not making me say it, but it's true, right? I have to have the scripts internalized so that I can figure out where I'm gonna go, because all that wasn't the script, but all that was the script. True or false?
True.
It was, okay, and I just took some inches, and I was able to grab onto a couple inches because he goes, well, I think we have the right agent right now. Okay, you think? Don't you wanna know? That's what I asked him, right? Don't you wanna know? I mean, you don't wanna be in the same situation, and then prioritize, hey, this is a big deal, right? Okay, Robbie, we already got somebody, we're gonna hold off till after the holidays.
You got somebody and you're gonna hold off till after the holidays.
Yeah.
No, listen, I can completely respect that, Paul. Now, when you were on the market originally, did you get any offers on the property?
A couple, but, you know, it's that time of year.
That time of year? No,
Yeah.
listen, I completely understand it. You know, if you would have sold while you were on the market before, being that it is the holidays, where were you off to?
Oh, we're going to Florida.
Florida?
Yeah.
What's taking you to Florida?
A job transfer.
Job transfer, wow. What's the timeline for that, for you to be in Florida?
Well, after the holidays, so,
After the holidays?
well, actually, my wife's already out there.
Oh, your wife's already out there?
Mhm.
Okay.
So at this point, I have a job that I run from home.
Yep.
So, I'm tying up some loose ends here, I'm trying to figure out what to do as far as the next best step for the property.
Sure.
So why don't you call me after the new year?
Call you after the New Year?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. And listen, Paul, you spend the holidays here or in Florida with your wife, and is there kids there as well?
Well, I'm gonna fly out in December.
Or you're
and
gonna fly out in
then-
December?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And Paul, just so I can get a better feel for what's going on here, in a perfect world, are you looking to have the property sold at the beginning of the year, or you're looking to put it back on the market at the beginning of the year?
No, that's kind of what we're hashing out right now.
That's kind of what you're hashing out right now. In terms of what timeline, or,
Yeah, everything.
okay,
Yeah.
everything.
So-
Perfect. And you need to be in Florida before the beginning of the year to start your job, correct?
Well, probably, ideally I wanted to be there in December, but,
December.
like I said, maybe just by hashing it out, we'll think, sometime after the new year might be more realistic.
By hashing it out, okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Paul, that's exactly why we need to meet, because if there's an advantage to sell now versus waiting until the beginning of the year, that's something you wanna know about, correct?
What are you talking about?
In terms of the market, what's going on, the market activity, and,
Mhm.
some other things that could cause your home to sell and get you to Florida by the holidays, by the new year, and you can start your job. Isn't that what you want?
Well, that's what I wanted, but it doesn't, it hadn't panned out that way.
It hadn't panned out in the past, correct?
With this, from what happened before, yeah.
What happened before, okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
and it's the holidays anyways, right? I mean,
Sure.
people are, Thanksgiving and Christmas and
Yeah.
all that stuff.
May I tell you the other side of the coin on that, Paul? A lot of realtors probably aren't telling you,
What?
in terms of what's going on during the holidays.
What do you mean?
Well, here's something a lot of realtors don't tell you. You've probably heard it's not the greatest time to sell, right?
Well, sort of.
Sort of.
And then just because it's the holidays,
Because of
right?
the holidays, yeah.
Yeah.
And, during the holidays, you do have less sellers, and you also have less buyers, but the buyers that are out there, Paul, are the most motivated. You know why? Because they don't wanna be homeless the holidays. You can understand that, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, why don't you send me something?
Send you something,
Yeah.
okay? Paul, what's your preferred email?
It's 123@abc.com.
123@abc.com?
Mhm.
Okay, perfect. And Paul, let's do this. Let's sit down this Thursday. I've got either 3 or 4 available. I'll be in the neighborhood. Which one works best for you?
Well, can't you just send me the stuff?
You know what? I'm gonna send you my contact information, and now you stop me here.
You're going pretty good.
Yeah,
You're moving
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
You're moving pretty good.
Appreciate the closing.
I think you even caught yourself a few times where you started floating away and then you reeled it back in.
Yeah,
and-
that's good.
Yeah, okay. Dan, I'm just gonna, what was it? Where do you get stuck? You got stuck on,
send me your
Just
stuff.
Send me the stuff. Dan, well, I got you. Can't you just send me something?
Yeah, no, I can send you that information, but Paul, you told me that your wife is already in Florida, right?
She's in Florida.
And in a perfect world, Paul, I mean, instead of flying out there for holidays, you'd rather just be there, right? In a perfect world?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, and listen, I know you're not gonna do anything now unless it makes sense to you, being that you have all this going on with your job, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so when we meet, we'll go over the information you need, take 10 or 15 minutes. This way you know what's best for you, because sharing information is my job. So, I mean, I can come out now or it's 4 o'clock for you.
Yeah, but Lorenzo, I got this other guy, you know, and he's kind of a buddy, and, you know.
Yeah, I could definitely appreciate it. So you do know somebody else in the business?
Yeah, I don't think it was his fault. I think he was trying everything he could to get the property sold.
Okay, perfect. So you went with this guy last time and it just came off the market?
Right.
And you plan on going back with him when you do decide to go back on the market?
Well, yeah, like I said, I mean, he's a good guy.
Right. Yeah, I can completely appreciate that. Don't you think you owe it to yourself to get a second opinion before you get yourself all locked up in another contract, Paul?
Well, I mean, I've known this guy a long time.
Yeah, I definitely respect that, and I respect, you know, you want to stay loyal to him. I mean, that definitely makes sense to me. But I mean, $500,000, would you say this is a pretty big deal for you, Paul?
Well, of course, yeah.
Yeah, and you don't want to be in the same position you were last time, do you? Sitting on the market and not getting sold.
No, I mean,
Right.
I don't.
I mean, you said you had to be in California by the end of the year, correct?
Yeah.
All right, so, I mean, I definitely wouldn't mind stopping by and just giving you some new information, and whatever you choose to do with this new information is up to you, Paul, but that way you can make the best decision possible when you do decide to relist. I mean, that's not unreasonable, is it?
No, that's not unreasonable.
Okay, perfect. You know what, I'm already gonna be,
Good job, Hansel.
Good job. Good job. Daniel Bostic, it's just the holidays and, you know, having to worry about, we have some family coming into town, so I don't really want to be bothered during December.
Okay, so you have family coming to town.
Yeah.
You feel like it's just gonna be too much stress and everything and having the home listed.
So they're in and out, and Christmas, and Hanukkah, and December's a little crazy.
December's a little
Yeah,
crazy.
why don't you call me in January?
Right, I can appreciate that. Now, let me ask you again, when you do move, where are you moving to?
To Florida.
Oh, you're moving to Florida? Oh, good for you, okay. All right, so it sounds like to me that with family visiting and everything like that, you're just not feeling up to being able to show the property as well as entertain everybody and stuff like that, correct?
Right. I don't want to inconvenience anyone, and,
Sure.
you know, there's people that got their own thing going on for the holidays, so.
Sure. Well, you know, Paul, how important is it to get the most money when you make a decision to sell this home?
Well, it's important. It's the whole thing of being having to be bothered in December.
Right. It's pretty important. And $350,000, that's a lot of money, isn't it?
It is.
Right. And I'm
Yeah.
sure that you have a lot of equity in the home. It looks like you bought it back in 2010. Correct? That's great. You're in a great position there. You know, if there is an advantage, Paul, to selling now versus waiting, you'd want to take 15 minutes and take a look at that information, right?
Well, yeah, just go ahead and send it to me.
Sure. I'll definitely do that. And actually, that's a good point there, so that you can be aware of everything before we meet. Now, I understand you have plans, and you're not going to do anything unless it makes sense, right?
Yeah. Well,
Right.
can't you just send me that?
Sure, and I'm absolutely going to do that too. That's my process there. Now, Paul, when we meet, we'll go over all the information that you need. Then you'll know what's best for you, either listing now or waiting. Because you want to make the most money on the sale of your home, don't you?
I do, but it's still a little early.
You
You know,
do?
that's why I say you send it to me in the mail. I can kind of, go from there, and
Right.
it's just a little early.
Of course, it's a little bit early now. And like I said, I understand you're not going to do anything unless it makes sense, right?
No.
Right, and it's not unreasonable taking 15 minutes to look at all of the important information. That way you know what's best at that point there. So what's best? Is it Tuesday or Wednesday at 4?
I guess Tuesday.
Tuesday
Yeah.
at 4? Great, that sounds great. Now,
Okay.
when we meet, like I said, we'll go over all
Okay,
that
time out.
information.
What could he have done better there?
Leverage and motivation. So instead of, he talks a lot about the money, but that sounded like it really wasn't that important to him.
Right.
So
That's
it's-
true.
I kind of blew that off a little bit already, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then look, you doubled down on the money. He doubled down on the money. And you hear me? Like I was starting to, like,
Maybe I should
fall
say-
away on that.
Well, what do you think I should
All right,
say?
so what would you have done differently?
He was assuming a lot of the negative, like, yeah, you probably don't want like people coming through your house during the holidays, and
Mhm.
you got Christmas and stuff. You didn't say anything about that, did you?
About people coming through?
Yeah.
I did. I did.
Oh,
I did. But as far
But I get
as
your point though about assuming the negative.
yeah, 'cause you brought up
versus affirming,
Yeah,
saying
that makes
something to
sense.
plant a seed on. Okay, so what was the issue?
Being bothered in the holidays.
Okay, so
You're
being
gonna
bothered in the holidays.
Yeah.
So when I identify what the problem is, right, instead of going into, see, this is where internalization is good, so that I have something to respond with, right? But through role play, I go, okay, okay, I got good internalization of the script and what's already there, but okay, where's the inch? Where's the inch? The inch is, what's the inch?
The inch is I think you're willing to take a look at the information.
No, what's the inch for me to grab onto as an agent, because I'm still getting resistance, but you've said something to allow that I can grab onto and kind of chew on a little bit with you. The resistance was
Florida.
December. I don't want to be bothered,
Okay.
right?
How's
That
that?
was the inch.
Explain.
Because, okay, so the inch was December, I don't want to be bothered.
Okay.
Okay, great. So if there was an opportunity where you didn't have to be bothered in
Oh,
December, and it did mean more money in your pocket,
Problem is the inch.
right? The inch is, it may not be the problem, but the inch is something I can grab onto. Something I can grab onto. And that's why I say they always give you inches. Listen closely. Because I stayed there, and I even gave it, like I pitched you the softball, and I was like, it's, all right, you heard me? I stuck on that, kind of.
skee ball.
Right? I stuck on that, and I go, no, and then you were like, money, and I'm like, okay, money's important, but I'm like, I'm really, the hassle, maybe wifey's like, I don't want, maybe she's steering the ship on not having to be bothered during the holidays, so let me grab that. Hey, listen, you know what, I could totally appreciate, Daniel, that you don't want to be, it sounds like December's a really sensitive month for you. Is that what's happening? Yeah, blah, 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 blah. All right, so obviously, at this point, it's a matter of convenience, right? Is that what we were talking about?
Right.
Yeah, no, that's it, exactly. Okay, so if there was a way where you could leverage the holiday season in regards to getting the best price possible and still closing after the holidays, where it didn't interrupt your family time, but yet it still took advantage of the market. February were a lot slower months to sell property. If you could do something like that, I mean, if I shared that with you, could I give it to you? If we sat down and we talked about that, and I was able to give you that information, would that be unreasonable?
It's very helpful.
Right?
Very helpful approach, yeah.
Right. I'm always the helpful approach, but leveraging what's important to
I'm
them.
confused though, how would that even be possible? You
What?
would like list them and then just do no showing during December? Is
Yeah.
that like what you're saying?
Yeah,
You discuss it
absolutely.
with them once you're there.
Yeah, but you guys saw the market numbers. January, February, worst months to sell
Mm.
as far as sales,
Mhm.
right? Did you see that?
Yeah.
Didn't see that. Look, okay. February historically over the last 7 years, 8 years. Okay, December actually not too bad, and then January, and then February, and then March, right? So January and February, very slow months of activity. So waiting till after the New Year's, golden rule, objections are answers, right? Objections are answers. Objections can be the answer. Objection is the answer. Objection is the answer. You want to wait till after the holidays? Let's definitely meet. Do you still want to sell? How important is it that you are going to move? Now, if I've established motivation, maybe I have to go back in, depending on where you're at, and dig more on situation and motivation. But if I have established that, then, whoa, time out. You want to wait till January? Let's meet. How much, with the new lending restrictions, escrows are going to take closer to 45 to 60 days, at least for now, right? So if we sell in November, we ain't closing until January or February. We don't sell in December, we ain't closing until February. So we need to get now, right? How long's Thanksgiving? A couple days? All right, you travel, a couple more days. How long is Christmas? All right, Christmas to New Year's is a little, that gap's a little wider, but are they really traveling? How long is family in town for? Okay, you got family in town for a week. Typically, people are not gonna have family in town for more than a week, typically. That's smoke, guys, that's smoke. I'm here to help, let's talk about it. And if the strength of your response is going to determine how they're receiving what you're projecting. Okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. All right, well, I never really thought about that because you're delivering comfortably and confidently, and they're starting to buy into this. Because remember, this meeting of the minds is two realities, right? It's their reality and it's your reality. But then all of a sudden, like they start blah-blahing, and like start getting sucked into that reality, and then we start assuming, oh well, family's in town, so probably not a good time, and there's they said more than one time that they're not going to sell until after the new year, versus what you know and what you understand is good and all intents and purposes maybe better for them to put their property on the market and get somebody into contract in November or December so that they can start seeing the light, and you're co-creating that experience. What's happening? Where are you at? You getting sucked in, or are you establishing some solid ground to stand on?